All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. If you are looking to get up to date on the top current cyber news and just absolutely destroy job interviews and deliver cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders, well, my friend, you are in the right place. Welcome to Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, we are going to be going through those top cyber news stories, 8 of them, in fact, among others. Experience to absolutely go. Well, all right, hold on one time. Said I dropped connection. All right, looks like we're back up and running. Good morning, everybody. Can't wait to get after it. Now, I want you to know I didn't research or prep for any stories today, but we got it going for you. All right, get your coffee, get you going. I do want to say shout out and thank you to all of you. The Sierra Montgomerys in the house, the Pain, the Code Brews, the Space Tacos. I hope everyone had a great day. Remember, it is Monday, which means we are going to be doing our Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week activity. Every single day of the week has a special one. And Mondays are particularly special because we recognize one member of the community. And then, because it's a sponsored event, I get to give you Amazon gift card, which is super, super cool. As always, I do want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, those who enabled me to bring this show to you on the reg. We got Anti-Siphon Training, who is always going to be killing it. Kathy Chambers pinged me recently about something super sick. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Tanya Janka is going to be doing an anti-cast, which is a free, count it, free activity that all of us can go to. Where is it? Where are you, Tanya? Look at this. This is this Wednesday with Tanya Janka, AppSec extraordinaire. 30 tips for secure JavaScript. This is it right here. If you want to attend this free webinar and pick up 30 skills, 30 tips for writing code, here you go. AppSec doesn't get a lot of love, but I'm telling you right now, AppSec is its own dimension within cybersecurity. I'm going to drop a link to this. Anti-Siphon Training, thank you so very much for not just sponsoring, but for continuing to bring the heat in the world of cybersecurity education. I love it. Now, I pinned that for you guys. I do want to say every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE, so say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot. It's as simple as that. Once a year, count up the number of screenshots, divide by 2, and you are off and running, my friend. It's as simple as that. So get your CPEs. Kayla Sturgeon discovered that we can get up to 120 CPEs a year, including episode 928, which is where we're at right now. And if you're big into Porsche, it's the Porsche 928. Discontinued model, but very, very sleek. The long hood. I'm not a big Porsche guy. My uncle owned a 928, so I know too much about it. I want to remind everybody, in addition to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, which is absolutely fire, don't sleep on the fact that we have so many activities going on. This is for the community, people. Every day of the week has so much cybersecurity content. I want to give you more content than you can handle. That's my prop to you. How about so much value you guys can't, it's like oozing out the sides. We've got the Simply Defensive podcast at 9:30 today after Jawjacking, which is after the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. We got the Community Cyber Workshop, Hacking AD tomorrow, Simply Offensive, Simply Social Engineering Wednesday afternoon, Cyber Mentors podcast on Thursday, Simply Secured with James Quiggin, 35,000 feet. Jesse Johnson and Slay Security Plus team on the weekend studying for Sec Plus. Dude, cyber mentorship lives on Tuesday. Friggin', it's killer, dude. It's unbelievable what's going on here at the Daily Cyber Threat Brief show and at the larger Simply Cyber community. I do want to say thank you all for what you do. Now, I will get into the... actually, let me do one more stream sponsor, and then we will get... we'll do our news so people can get right into it. Let's hear from Threat Locker. We'll be right back. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. All right, hey, if today's, two things. One, if today's your first time, welcome to the party, pal. Do let us know it's your first time by dropping a hashtag first-timer in chat. Hashtag first-timer in chat. Don't be shy. We literally have a special sound effect for you. We have a special emote for you. We have a special way to say hello to our first-timer, so drop a hashtag first-timer in chat. I want to let everyone know I am dealing with a, you might notice the camera angle looks weird. I'm having to hold the microphone. I packed, because I've got to mail my stuff to Vegas for Black Hat, so I have to prep it. So I prepped everything over the weekend, which was a big pain in the A. But now I'm operating a limited studio, so I wanted to show everybody. I was going to post this on Discord before chat, but it didn't really work. Here, I can't really, there, dial in. So you can see here, look at this light. The light source is this tiny light. I've got on top of my laptop screen, there's a little C922 Logitech camera. So still got the soundboard, still got that jazz, but operating at what I would consider my true mobile studio setup. So for those Space Tacos, I apologize in advance. I should have gotten Team Sippy Cup. Really quickly, quick note from Anderman in chat. Good morning, Team SC. I've been watching a couple years and love it. Quick update, I got a new role still in GRC, leading a control and monitoring team. Stay secure and fun. Anderman. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. The wrecking ball sound effect will play. It just will play at its leisure, apparently. Come on, bro. I don't know what it is about the sound. My mobile studio has definitely got, I don't know, idiosyncrasies at this point. This is like it's a piece of technology. It shouldn't wear down like an old wagon or something. Oh my God, bro. All right, hold on. We're going to have to do the news. And my Stream Deck is now playing into the wrong. Hold on. Have you guys been listening to the music? I hope to God you have. Because I hope you've been listening to the music. Let me know if you've been hearing the music. I'm going to be embarrassed. Dude, what is going on with the Stream Deck? I'm about to yeet this Stream Deck across the room. All right. Oh, Jesus. Okay, thank you. Fucking stupid. It's a piece of technology. It should be Boolean. It works or it doesn't work. I push the Stream Deck button, and at some arbitrary time, it decides it will go off. Yeah, there's no music playing right now. That's fine. All right. Hey, Anderman. All right. Hey, let's do me a favor, everybody. I owe you some news, so sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll see you at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Monday, July 28th, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. NASCAR announces data breach following March cyber attack. The National Association for Stock Car Racing, better known to the world as NASCAR, has now warned customers of a data breach caused by a cyber attack in late March. The company filed with regulators in Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts and has said that Social Security numbers were accessed but has not stated how many people were affected. Back in April, the Medusa ransomware gang added the company to its leak site and demanded a $4 million ransom. Medusa has been identified by the FBI and other U.S. agencies as among the top 10 most prolific ransomware strains this year.
All right. So I did dig into this story. Apparently, Medusa ransomware took a right turn, and nobody at NASCAR was ready for that. I'm joking. NASCAR gets a bum rap because you just take left turns, right? I've become quite the racing snob as I've gotten into F1. I did watch the Spa, Belgian race this weekend, the GP. I'm joking. A complete poser. I've watched 2 F1 races in my life. I just know people dig on NASCAR for taking left turns only. Guys, you know what? It could happen to the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, NASCAR, PGA, LPGA, UFC. Dude, they're just businesses, right? And they're very, very, very public businesses, but they're businesses nonetheless, and they have information. I don't know Medusa ransomware's particular TTPs. I do know Medusa is the one that's responsible for, I'm like 95%. I'd bet money that mattered to me that Medusa was responsible for the Minneapolis school system attack. So here, let's fact check that. Maybe I owe everybody a Danish. There we go. Keep it in the dark. Minneapolis cyber attack. Let's see who it says. Oh yeah, threat actor gang Medusa. All right, let's go. All right, so Medusa, they don't. Here's my thing: when you see like a NASCAR attack, and then a school system attack, and then a healthcare system, Medusa is either just a really, really diversified ransomware as a service threat actor, or they are. Oh, it actually says the Minneapolis school system attack right here. They also attacked Pacific Island nation of Tonga, France, government agencies. Yeah, dude, here's the deal. Some threat actors are very deliberate about who they attack, and they're good at it. Like, look at Scattered Spider and the recent string of attacks on UK retail businesses. And sometimes, like Medusa, they don't give a crap, dude. It's literally spray out as many info stealers like Luma or something, see whose creds you get, and then when you get someone's creds, you exploit them and go get into their infrastructure and steal all their data. They must have been licking their chops when they found out it was NASCAR that they scored. Again, these threat actors probably don't give a damn about Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jeff Gordon. I'm definitely aging myself. We might as well just say drink right now. I'm sure both of those guys don't race anymore. But my point is, there's money there. There's money there. So the threat actors are getting after it, okay? Nothing else to see here. If you don't want to be a friggin' news story, if you don't want to be NASCAR next week, secure your stuff. You can't reduce all risk, okay? But you can certainly reduce the likelihood that you turn into front page news.
Planky appears to be on track to lead CISA. Sean Planky, who is the president's nominee to run CISA, received, quote, a largely warm reception from lawmakers on the Senate committee charged with advancing his nomination, end quote. Planky has pledged to ask DHS Secretary Kristi Noem for more funding if he determines a larger budget is needed for the agency. Planky has most recently acted as Noem's senior advisor overseeing the Coast Guard and has also served on the National Security Council and with the Department of Energy. He is a supporter of the reauthorization of the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act of 2015, which is, quote, a U.S. federal law designed to improve cybersecurity by encouraging the sharing of cyber threat information between the private sector and the government and among private entities, end quote. Planky also stated that he would, quote, prioritize evicting China from the U.S. supply chain, end quote.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay, so this would be Jen Easterly's replacement officially. Okay. The director of CISA, because it's like an appointed position, they do have to go through the what I would consider dog and pony show of Senate hearings to see if they're firm, right? So, like, basically, it's a job interview, right? Trump said this would be no different than the CEO of the company being like, "Oh, like," but a publicly traded company, and being like, "Oh, like my neighbor's kid," or the guy who like I know from the golf club or whatever, or whatever. I know someone who's qualified. Let me not downplay the qualifications of this guy for this job, right? Let's just say, oh, I worked with a guy at a previous job and he's great for the thing. Let's bring him in. By the way, this is how networking and relationships work in cybersecurity and why you should build a network and have relationships. But anyways, but you can't just put the guy in place. This isn't a private business where the CEO just gets to put somebody in place and tells everybody this is how it's going to be. It's public, right? So you get interviewed by other people. The interviews are Senate, okay? The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee is currently interviewing, or at least Gary Peters, who's the ranking member on that committee, is interviewing him, okay? So here's the thing. At least as far as I know, okay, it is so uncommon that these interviews ever result in anything substantial. We have seen, and again, I'm sorry, this isn't super cyber related, but we have seen, and honestly, there are a lot of parallels. If you are younger, okay, like physically younger, and you haven't worked in corporate America yet, or you haven't, like, you've worked in retail and you're pivoting over to corporate America, but like, what I'm about to tell you is a fact that you will see time and time again in corporate America, right? If somebody has decided, somebody in power has decided that this person's going to get hired, you will go through all the HR gates. You will do all the things so no one can say, oh, it wasn't above board. But are you really going to be the person who says, no, this person's not getting hired? Because effectively what you're doing is going against the person with all the authority, the CEO. And is that really a hill you're going to want to die on? Okay. Now, I mean, obviously, if they're trying to replace you with this person, you'd fight it. But like, for the most part, this is the equivalent of someone saying, "Oh, this guy's going to work here now. Do whatever it is you have to do, but I expect him to start on August 1st." Okay. Finally, like these questions are so chintzy too. Like the guy asked him, how are you going to effectively lead an agency when the budget's been cut? And he said, I'll go ask for budget. Whoa. Wow. Like my brain is melted. What unbelievable, like what a cutting answer. All right. So like it just, I don't know, man. For someone who like time is super important, these things bother me because I feel like they're just a waste of money and time. Like hard-hitting question, how are you going to lead without a budget? I'll go ask for budget. Listen, this is, again, deep parallels to CISOs. You're going to interview for a CISO position, and they say, oh, we don't have a lot of budget. How are you going to drive this information security program with little budget? Oh, well, I'm going to take advantage of the things that we already have in place, and then I'm going to make a compelling argument for more budget. Like, oh, all right. Waste of time.
Microsoft investigates another outage affecting 365 Admin Center. Microsoft is keeping tabs on an outage that blocked Microsoft 365 administrators with business or enterprise subscriptions from accessing the Admin Center. This is being described as a service degradation issue and is tracking the problem on its official service health status page because Microsoft 365 administrators may be unable to access the Admin Center to get service health information. This is the second time in a week that the company has had to mitigate an issue with the Microsoft 365 Admin Center.
All right. Very cool. And also, really quickly, ask me so I'm doing Jawjacking, just so everyone knows. If you're a first time here, Jawjacking is a 30-minute show right after this show. You don't even have to do anything. It'll just happen. Automatically, I'll take care of it. The other thing, ask me, Elliot Matisse, if you can, ask me, part of this guy's mission is to like basically expunge all of Chinese businesses from the United States supply chain. So ask me about that. I have some thoughts about that. All right. So Microsoft investigates outage affecting Microsoft 365 admin. Not good, right? Certainly, the admin portal is where, basically you can go to administer your Office 365 environment. Now, I don't know if this is exactly the same space as where you would do, like, I know I have M365, but I'm not running like a big hybrid enterprise. So when I go in there, it's much more like, setting up email security rules and checking on stuff, enrolling devices in MDM, stuff like that. So people couldn't get in there. That's bad for business. If you're not allowed to manage your IT, obviously that's a hot mess express and quite concerning if someone else is in there and that's why you're having problems. Let's see. They were getting literally a, this doesn't say 500 error, but this wouldn't be a 500 error. There was an issue on the server side. Okay, really quickly, not that you really have to remember this or memorize this, but these are interesting to know. So really quickly, if you've ever gotten a error 404 when you're on the internet, that's like a common one. You may also have seen 200 or HTTP status code 404, HTTP status code 200. Those are pretty common ones, okay? There is a numbering convention for HTTP status codes if you didn't know. If it starts with a 1, it's an informational one. 2 is successful. This is where we typically see 200. 300 something is a redirection. So if you've ever seen a 301 redirect, right? A 301 redirect is common. Like, basically, there's a couple ways to do it, but a lot of times like load balancers will do redirects, or if there's some type of proxy in the way or WAF or something like that. 400 is client error. This is what I wanted to key you in on. 400 is a client error, so that's a problem on your side. 500 is a server error, something wrong on their side. So not that it super matters. No one's going to, quiz you like in an elevator. You're like, oh yeah, can I get a large chicken parm sub with extra provolone? They're like, sure. What error code is server error in, root level application runtime error? If you can tell me that, you get your chicken parm with extra parmesan or extra provolone. But when I see that, that's immediately what I think of. If I had to guess, somebody made an update and it failed. What day did this happen on? Okay, this happened on, they said an issue on Thursday. It doesn't say what day this happened, but Carrie's seen the 500 error. I love it. 200, 400, 500. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a 100. You've definitely seen a 300, Robert Hendrickson. You probably didn't realize it was a 300 error. Oh, the pain with the teapot. That's actually a really funny point. If you guys are interested, so whatever, this story is a nothing burger. Microsoft 365 is already back up and running. They're a mission critical, borderline critical infrastructure SaaS product. They have lots of people working on it. It doesn't sound like it was a malicious thing. Really quickly, I do want to show you, if you Google RFC, so Romeo, Foxtrot, Charlie, status codes. RFCs is where it's actually denoted. And you can see here, let's see. Hold on one second. Oh. The RFCs is where, like, basically that's where we do the, RFCs is where the standards are kept, okay? And you can see here, a 100's continue, 101 is switching protocol, early hints is 103. So, and you can see that they're tied to RFC 8297. Processing is RFC 2518. Let me share something with you really quickly, because I do think that this is valuable and not something that we talk about often. If you are looking to like do some research, become a security researcher, maybe get something published and like kind of make a splash, a name for yourself or whatever, I can't guarantee there's anything here, but what I will tell you is HTTP status code 200. You could see the RFC 9110 section 1531 is where that RFC is defined, and everybody uses that all the time. But dude, our HTTP status code 103 early hints RFC 8297. I've never heard of this. Okay, and I've been working in this industry for a wicked long time. I bet you a lot of people have not heard of this. So there could be an opportunity here to abuse this payload, abuse this status code for some type of malicious intent. And the reason I bring this up is because a lot of times things that have been around for a very long time can have flaws in it. It's just that it's fringe, it's very fringe things that people don't commonly look at. So there's sometimes opportunities like, dude, occasionally you'll hear about some bug in it that, TLS, oh, it's been there for 20 years. Or like, there was like a Linux sudo thing in the last year that was like, it's always been there, but we never caught it. So anyways, finally, just for craps and giggles, because the Pain did it, thanks Pain. If you go to RFC 418, it says unused, but it's not. Hold on, is 418 the teapot? Hold on, this must be a problem here. There's a teapot one that's like a joke, but it's literally deliberately a joke. This is like as deep down the rabbit hole of being a nerd as we can get, and I love it. HTTP 418 status code indicates that the server refuses to brew coffee because it's permanently a teapot. This was an RFC 2324 that was submitted as a April 1st joke. So any attempt to brew coffee with a teapot should result in an error code 418. I'm a teapot. Okay? This is a legit RFC. Okay, I'll drop a link in chat. If you're looking, this is a joke, but it's real. Okay.
Allianz Life confirms data breach. The US-based provider of annuities and life insurance, Allianz Life, that is Allianz, is a subsidiary of Allianz SE, a global financial services group headquartered in Germany. It is now confirmed that the personal information for the majority of its 1.4 million US customers was exposed in a data breach that occurred on July 16th. The breach is being attributed to a malicious threat actor who, quote, gained access to a third-party cloud-based CRM system used by Allianz Life Insurance Company of North America. A spokesperson stated that, quote, the threat actor was able to obtain PII related to the majority of Allianz Life customers, financial professionals, and select Allianz Life employees using a social engineering technique. Bleeping Computer believes that this attack is the work of the Shiny Hunters extortion group.
All right. Shiny Hunters is the one who attacked Power School. That's the business that basically is in 85% of US-based school systems. So if you check your kids' grades online, there's like a very high chance, like an 85% chance that it's through Power School. They were also with the Snowflake attack, which was where Ticketmaster, AT&T, etc. did. So Shiny Hunters, they're definitely very effective at what they do, and they got into this third-party company that was holding Allianz Life customer information. Okay, so a couple things here. Number one, this is a perfect example, okay? You might even want to, like, save this story, okay? This is a absolute 100% nails example of a situation where a third party gets breached and the first party who's engaged with the third party in services wears all of the shade, right? All of the PR nightmare, all of the crisis management. So Allianz Life has 148 million customers, right? They're this big ass, European life insurance company, okay? So they make money They probably, like the guy behind Allianz Life probably has a sick house on the lake. When you drive by, you're like, God. They have a CMR or CRM, customer resource management, whatever. It's like a database that holds all your customer data and then sends emails. Hey, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Here's 10% off. Hey, here, dog days of summer. Here's 3 things to, protect yourself, right? They got breached because their security sucks and Allianz Life has to wear it. Okay, so from a GRC perspective, this is one of those things where here's the deal. Sometimes when you're doing business with another company or you're about to do business and you fill out the third-party questionnaire, right? And people are like, oh my God, Jerry, like, just get out of my way. We're going to use this business. Stop being, whatever. Stop being so like, okay? Use this story when that happens. You can be like, yeah. And like I told you, the company that you asked me to look at doesn't use multi-factor. They have a string of published security breaches. They are a risk. Now, if you want to take them and use them for CRM because they're 10% cheaper than Salesforce, fine. But just know that when they have a data breach, we're the ones who are going to own it. So get ready for that. Again, we're here to advise. We're not here to make, be accountable or not accountable. Accountable, right? So whatever. This is a nothing story. 1.4 million people's lives are screwed up. Allianz Life probably posted here. Let me just, to drive this point home. Allianz Life revenue. Let's see how much they're making. All right, okay, here we go. Allianz achieves record operating profit of $16 billion. This is February 28th, 2025. Let me just do some back of the napkin math here. €1 to USD is 1.17, so $16 billion. We'll round down. So this $16 billion company is now looking like crap because some third-party company. Some middle manager definitely got fired for this. All right, let's keep going. Come on, man.
Today's sponsor is DropZone AI, the leader in AI-powered SOC automation. Major companies like Zapier and UiPath are using DropZone to give their security teams superpowers. Imagine your analysts focusing on the real threats while AI handles every routine investigation in minutes, not hours. If you're heading to Black Hat, stop by their booth in Startup City. But you don't have to wait. Check out their self-guided demo at dropzone.ai and see why Fortune 500s are making the switch. That is DROPZONE.ai.
All right, Allianz, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Roswell, UK. I could just be some like uncultured American swine saying it how I want. All right, guys, we are at the mid-roll. Let's play a little bit of music here. Hold on. Don't get too excited. I got to play a song so I can do some ad reads, and then we're going to drop the, well, hell, I'll just drop it. All right, here we are at the mid-roll. Thanks, guys. I hope you're having a great show. I certainly am. I want to shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade, Anti-Siphon Flare, ThreatLocker, and Delete Me. We have to do extra read today and tomorrow, because I screwed up earlier in the month. Guys, really quickly, if your M365 instance needs securing, if you haven't gone through and actually secured your M365 instance already, consider Barricade Cyber's Fortify 365 solution. Basically, they can come in and strengthen your M365 environment by configuring the options that you already have. Conditional access, MFA, hardening all the things, putting logging in place, guys. Don't sleep on securing the environment that you've already paid for. It's stupid. If you get If you suffer dude, if you have a home invasion because you left your doors unlocked or your car unlocked and someone rifled through your car, come on. You had the opportunity to do it. Just do it. barricadecyber.com/fortify-365.com today to learn all about it and check it out. My man Eric Taylor's got you covered. All right, guys. Hey. Right now, the headlines are chock full of data breaches and regulatory rollbacks, making us all vulnerable, but you can do something about it. Delete Me is here to make it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online. Do you want an easier way to deal with data breaches? Get Delete Me. The fact is, we're all at risk. How many times have you gotten an email or a letter saying your data's been breached? It's unsettling, but the good news is Delete Me can help. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me. I worry about my children, my wife, if my home address is out there. If someone can find my phone number and call me and, or call my wife and spoof my phone number and say, hey, I just found this phone. This guy's unconscious. Come meet me. It's scary stuff, man. So I don't want my personal information out there on the web and data brokers selling it. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber at checkout. Excuse me. Oh my God. Don't go anywhere because we have the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week presented by ThreatLocker in just a hot minute. But first, I got to tell you about Flare. Flare.io. If you don't know about Flare.io, cyber threat intelligence platform, you're missing out. I friggin' love their threat intelligence platform. But they also have Flare Academy, which is a educational hub offering training modules led by subject matter experts on the latest external threats. Guys, you can absolutely upgrade your skills. Look at this. August 13th, so just after Black Hat, you can see here Kevin Johnson, who's the CEO over at Secure Ideas. The guy is super awesome. If you have met Kevin Johnson, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're interested in learning about web application testing and stealing secrets and you want to have a fun Lord of the Rings vibe to it, come check it out. I'll drop a link in chat. If you go to simplycyber.io/flare, it should be happening there. All right, so thank you very much, Flare, for putting on this wonderful educational opportunities. Whew, guys, we are at the that time here. Every single day of the week has a special segment, and Mondays is Simply Cyber's Community Member of the Week, sponsored by ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker brings a deny-by-default application security approach to enterprises. Simply Cyber brings a it-takes-a-village approach to build a community. And because of that, I love giving a $100 Amazon gift card or $100 worth of Simply Cyber merch to the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. I do want to say shout out. This particular member, super positive. Some people reached out to me to tell me about this community member. I don't know if he's in chat right now, but I want to introduce you guys to the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. This week, it's Isaac Rodart. This is Punisher 11G in Discord. Dude, Ric Flair woos all over the place. Super excited. He's bringing the heat. Supportive comments. Inclusive in the Discord and elsewhere online, just killing it. So Isaac, we salute you. Thank you very much. You are this week's Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. La 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 la. Let's go, Alpha Sierra. Nice. Nice. All right, everybody, let's finish strong, shall we? Congratulations again, Isaac.
Black Suit website goes dark. Black Suit, a ransomware gang that is believed to be a rebrand of Royal Ransomware, itself a product of the Conti gang, now has some new bling on its website. The logos of 17 law enforcement agencies plus cybersecurity firm Bitdefender, who worked with U.S. Homeland Security to disable the site in a campaign branded Operation Checkmate. This action has, for the moment, halted or at least frustrated the dealings of the group, which is known for exploiting phishing, remote desktop protocol, vulnerabilities in public-facing applications, using access data from access brokers, and harvesting VPN credentials from Stealer logs.
All right. Okay, guys, I got to tell you, this has been a relatively new phenomena, I would say like in the last 12 to 18 months. First of all, well, the new phenomena is that the law enforcement is like, this isn't your dad's, your domain has been seized splash page. They're definitely using AI like Mid-Journey. And for my personal benefit here, or my personal, borderline playing the saxophone, this is retro synthwave vibes all day. Hot pinks, dark blues. You may notice the background here kind of doing these things. It is chess. Fun fact, Tidbits Tuesday. In my elementary school, I was the 5th grade chess champion. I did beat out like 30 other kids to be heralded as the biggest nerd. The biggest nerd at my school as I took home the crown. Operation Checkmate, law enforcement killing it.
Regulators! Mount up. It was a clear black night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume.
All right, so yeah, Black Suit, which was previously Royal, which was previously Conti. Here's the TLDR. You got to remember, guys. Like basically, there's like a handful. Let's say there's like 100 human beings. I'm estimating, right, just round numbers here, but let's say there's 100 human beings that commit ransomware cybercrime and know how it works and have all the connections to, launder the money and do all the things. When law enforcement rips down their infrastructure, it's not a big deal because they have all the skills, right? Imagine, if you will, that you're like, I don't know, a baker or an electrician or a plumber or whatever. And your family moves from Kansas City to Foxborough, Massachusetts. Let's just say that your family decides, for unrelated reasons, that it's great having a team represent you that's pretty good, but you'd rather live where one of the greatest teams and probably the greatest player in NFL history ever played. So you uproot your family and move to Foxborough, Mass. Okay, so here's the deal. Just because you rip down your business in Kansas City, when you get to Foxborough, you're just going to hang a shingle and be like, hey, I'm a plumber. Hey, I'm an electrician. Hey, I'm a ransomware threat actor, right? So until they arrest the humans behind it, you can continue to imagine these rebrands. It was dark matter, or excuse me, it was dark side. Then it was black matter. Then it was Black Cat Alpha. Then it was Ransom Hub, right? Like, dude, and again, it's some speculation whether or not Alfie Black Cat was actually Ransom Hub. Alfie Black Cat disbanded after the Change Healthcare thing because the heat was too hot. But my point is, these are going to be the same actors over and over again until they arrest them all. Black suit actors typically demand $1 million to $10 million in Bitcoin. And yeah, they use a Tor website. So, dude, way to go. I hope some of these stories come out. I absolutely love looking at 14 different law enforcement agencies coordinate. Honestly, I said this before, dude. This is the only way, in my opinion, this is the only way that we as a society are ever going to fully uproot cybercrime. Not just ransomware, but like cybercrime in general. So, the internet doesn't have boundaries, right? You can't have the United States FBI being like world police and doing whatever. Like, you need coordination across international law enforcement agencies if you hope to have any chance of moving as quickly and as swiftly as threat actors can move, because they don't have to subscribe to laws and policies. All right. Did Lockbit get cut? caught, excuse me. That guy's name was Dimitri something. I think he did. No, he's just got a, he just has a warrant out for his arrest. And, yeah, Korosev. He's got a warrant out for his arrest, but in an indictment on him. But no, he hasn't been. He's, unfortunately, that guy's probably living on some sick island in a country that doesn't have extradition to the United States. Talking, you know, he's probably at the bar talking to like some Tom Cruise bartender looking guy from the movie Cocktail, being like, I used to be someone, but I'm also filthy rich now.
Unpatched flaw in LG surveillance cameras allows admin access. CISA is warning of an unpatched authentication bypass vulnerability in a specific model of security camera, the type often mounted on ceilings in commercial buildings. The model number and CVE number of the vulnerability are listed in this episode's show notes. Approximately 1,300 cameras are active and vulnerable to full unauthenticated remote code execution, allowing remote takeover and network pivoting. As CISA points out, this is a critical infrastructure threat, which is not just simply a risk to isolated devices, but potentially endangers facilities that are vital to public safety and national operations. The manufacturer, LG Innotech, is aware of the vulnerability, but will not patch it because this particular camera model is an end-of-life product.
Oh, come on now. All right, so as usual, I mean, you should be able to go to Shodan and find these things. Now you might be like, okay, so let me give you two things. Number one, this device is end of life, but it is a webcam, so people are gonna be like most people aren't gonna go replace their webcam, right? This is like an IoT device that's just kind of sitting out there, and I guarantee you, even though it's end of life, if you go to that IP address on your network, it will resolve, and you'll be able to look at whatever it is. So think of, all right, take care, Jenny Housley. So think of like a warehouse or something, right? You've got cameras all over the place to like look at the loading dock, to see, you know, who's the delivery guy, are they here yet, whatever, right? So you're not going to be like, oh, I should go replace this because it's went end of life. You're very, very unlikely to get budget to replace these things, okay? Now, you might be thinking, why do I care? It's an IoT device. It's looking at my loading dock, or it's looking at my parking lot. It's looking at the on-ramp to the highway. Who gives a crap, right? If a threat actor gets in there and they want to be a peckerhead and they want to change, you know, pan, tilt, and zoom with the camera to like focus in on some guy's butt, and then, you know, everybody gets a giggle, right? Then what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that this is an IP addressable piece of technology that's probably running a stripped down version of Linux with BusyBox on it, which is, you know, probably not a lot of functionality, but it's enough functionality to be able to use it as a pivot point, and that's where the problem is. If this thing is on a network that is flat, meaning it's not segmented, you could jump on this thing and then pivot deeper into a network. And because this thing is just sitting there, and it very likely doesn't have logging on it, you're not going to put some type of like sysmon on one of these devices, right? So you probably have basic telemetry coming from it, if any, and that's going to be a problem. Chris Rock says we used to turn the cameras in Germany that were looking at a street to see girls in a swimming pool. Okay. All right. BusyBox is powerful, ZMIF. Yeah, but I mean, BusyBox is just a stripped down version of Linux. But as always, you can use Shodan.io. I don't even know. I asked mods if they could check this out really quickly, but we'll see if we can do it. Let's see. I have 3 accounts. I think this is the one that I got paid for. All right, so LG Yeah, no results found. See, the thing is with Shodan, you have to like the friggin' the query system needs to be done well. Like you can't just put in the model. You need like whatever the fingerprint is that comes back from the device. I don't know the Shodan query off the top of my head, and I'll try one more, but I'm not gonna have you guys watch me do this. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Microsoft cannot guarantee data sovereignty. Speaking under oath in the French Senate, executives from Microsoft France said their company cannot guarantee data sovereignty to customers in France and by extension to the wider European Union due to the Cloud Act, a U.S. law that, quote, gives the U.S. government authority to obtain digital data held by U.S.-based tech corporations, irrespective of whether that data is stored on servers at home or on foreign soil. It is said to compel these companies via warrant or subpoena to accept the request, end quote. The issue of access to data and the enforceability of provisions of the Cloud Act will require a great deal of litigation, especially considering the fact that AWS, who supported the bill along with Microsoft and Google, has stated, quote, that the Cloud Act does not only apply to U.S. headquartered companies, it is applicable to all electronic communication service or remote computing service providers that do business stateside. End quote.
All right. So this is like GRC data governance at a whole new level. Okay. The rhythm is the bass and the bass is the treble. Right. I don't know. I can never say a whole new level and not immediately turn into Nate Dogg. All right. Here's the deal. If your data is on a server in a certain country and that country wants access to that data, they're going to get it. This is why this is what again, this is like GRC level 300. Like this is data governance at a whole new level. Also, I want to point out this is why certain countries demand that data get processed internally. For example, so this is France talking to Microsoft saying, "Hey, can French data stay in France only?" And Microsoft says, "Actually, no, we store the data in the United States, and if the United States wants to see it, we're going to give it to them." Okay, so obviously France and the United States are not enemies, but imagine, if you will, I don't know, let's just say that you're TikTok and you're hosting data in the United States, and then you don't want the data to go to China, so maybe you demand that TikTok have US-based servers where the data doesn't leave the United States. This like that was not a hypothetical. That's literally what happened in the US. Like Oracle owns the contract. You know, it's like TikTok US. Remember there was going to be a TikTok ban and all that stuff? Again, just because you say one thing, yes, you're supposed to follow what you say. That's what integrity is. But, you know, so whatever. To me, this is a story that's like interesting from an academic perspective of data governance, but in the grand scheme of things, like I don't know, unless you're working with some really, really sensitive information that would be of national security interest to your adversary, and your data is being held in your adversary's, you know, geophysical, geographical constrained locations, then it's not an issue. Like basically this story is a non-issue because like a lot of things would have to be true for this story to be an issue.
Arizona woman who helped place North Korea.
All right. Elliot Matisse says it's bigger than that. It doesn't matter where the data is stored. The law says the company is US based. The government can have the data. It conflicts with GDPR pretty hard. Yep. So it does. Yeah, I didn't even think about the personal information. Yeah, so that would conflict with GDPR and privacy regulations as well. I don't know how bring your own keys plays into this, but DHEX2, who kind of looks like Jeff, it is interesting, right? Like you can have a copy of all the data. The thing is, it's encrypted. So what are you going to do about that? So. Yeah, and then Chris Rock says the thing. Microsoft can just say, we align with data sovereignty and get everything passed, and then say, oops, if things happen down the road. Yeah.
Workers is sentenced. Following up on a story we brought you in late May, Christina Marie Chapman, a 50-year-old woman from Arizona, has now been sentenced to 102 months in prison after pleading guilty for her involvement in a scheme that enabled North Korean IT workers to infiltrate 309 U.S. companies, end quote. She was charged, along with her co-conspirator, a Ukrainian citizen, Alexander Didenko. Didenko also ran an online platform known as Upwork Cell, which was seized by the Department of Justice, that assisted North Koreans in using false identities while hunting for remote IT work positions. Remember to register for this.
Okay, so this woman, this would make such a good, like, you know, Dateline or 48 Hours or one of those shows. This woman had basically was running a bunch of laptops in her house. All of them North Koreans were remoting into, and then basically, proxying into their U.S. based companies. Yeah, they collected over $17 million in revenue, and then that was shared with the woman. Oh, and she actually, well, this is even more interesting. So she wasn't just hosting the laptop farm. She also was basically laundering the money for them as well. So the paychecks would go into her account, and then she would flip the money to them. That's an interesting dimension. Probably more of the reason why she got in trouble, honestly. She shipped 49 laptops by U.S. companies to locations overseas. She had 90 laptops at her house. Dude, this woman must have been thinking she was like living La Vida Loca. She just has 90 laptops going in her house. All she has to do is keep the internet up, right? By the way, she must have had like multiple fiber lines coming into her house. They're like, why is somebody in our neighborhood like on paper she must have looked like a data center. I'm being playful, right? Because like a hotel has more than 90 people going through it at any point on the internet. But my point is, this woman didn't have to do anything except like just have these laptops sitting around, and she was making bank. Very appealing, okay, from a financial revenue generation perspective, right? Like this sounds like one of those things you see these scam artists online, like, hey, would you like to make six figures and do absolutely nothing? Check it out. I can show you how. Help me commit treason by having a, North Korea. Well, I guess it's not treason, but it depends. Here's the thing. Couple of things. Number one, it depends what the jobs were and what kind of data was being gathered. Because you have to assume the North Koreans were not just exclusively doing work. They probably were exploiting their insider access. Number two, this woman was like laundering money basically to North Korea, which has severe economic sanctions in place to avoid them generating revenue because of all the world bad that North Korea and Kim Jong-un has done. Right, so that's a huge problem as well. And then three, it's just like, what are we doing here? So, anyways, Marcus Kyler said she was in a tight financial situation. Yeah, 100%. And guys, here's the final thing I'll say on this one, okay? I feel like I didn't give you a lot of value in today's episode, so I'm going to try to like make up for it right now. Final thing I'll say is insider threats, okay? Nobody wants, like, be aware of this, bring it up in a job interview if you can. When it comes to insider threat, it's not Dick Dastardly and his dog Muggles, or whatever his dog's name was, Smugly or whatever. You don't get this like cartoon villain twisting his mustache talking about, ooh, I'd love to work here. And then like they immediately rob the business. A lot of times insider threats are people who don't realize they're a threat because they're trying to go above and beyond. Like, oh, I'm going to be the best employee here. I'm going to win the parking spot. I'm going to bring all my work home over the weekend and then accidentally leave it in an Uber or have my laptop stolen. And now we got big problems, okay? Or, and this is where I really wanted to focus, you absolutely should have very good technical detection controls in place. Talk to Wade Wells if you need detection controls. But you need detection controls in place on your internal assets and use privileged access management and network segmentation, if you can do it, to detect when somebody internal is doing something they shouldn't. Because here's the reality. I'll use myself as an example, all right? This is a fictitious example, but I'll make the point. I work my butt off, okay? I work my butt off. In the United States, the healthcare system is absolutely broken. If someone gets sick or falls and breaks their leg, or they get an unexpected, really crappy diagnosis for a medical condition, a lot of times people will start a GoFundMe page, right? Oh, GoFundMe. Hey, like, Jerry's got, this illness and it's going to cost $30,000 to fix it. We're trying to raise money because his insurance sucks, or because his insurance won't pay for it, or whatever. Like, that's where we are in the United States, where like GoFundMes are like a regular thing for people's healthcare bills. Now, let's imagine that I have too much pride and I'm not going to start a GoFundMe, or I don't want anyone to know. But I do know I was approached by North Korea, and they said, hey, all you got to do is take this laptop, turn it on, plug it into the internet, and just leave it alone, and we will pay for your medical procedure. Maslow's pyramid of needs, or hierarchy of needs, if you don't know what that is, go look it up, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When it becomes an issue of my core needs, my health, and I don't have any options, and then someone presents me an option, and I don't actually see the immediate impact, right? I stand up a laptop, and my medical bills go away. That sounds really nice, right? It doesn't say, hey, stand up this laptop so we can steal nuclear energy secrets and be able to create a weapon and cause damage. It's just set up this laptop, okay? So a lot of people will make that choice, okay? Whether it's a gambling addiction, whether it's a child who's dealing with some type of really bad situation, whether it's a health scare, whatever, greed, it could just be straight up greed, a gambling debt, it doesn't matter. People are really interesting, people are really dynamic, and people's needs change all the time. So just saying, oh, Carl in sales is a great guy. Carl's always the guy who's cooking at the company picnic. Carl always brings Legos for all the children during the holiday times. Carl would never do that. Carl! Right? And all of a sudden, Carl's oldest son has gotten really bad in with loan sharks in Vegas because he's got a problem with Baccarat, right? And now Carl's like, oh, Jesus, I guess I got to help my kid. All right, so just insider threats is a problem. Don't sleep on it, okay? I'm not saying what this woman did is justified. This woman's getting 102 months in prison because she committed crime. Good. I'm just telling you that the reason behind crime isn't always a mustache twirling, in the shadows criminal mastermind. Sometimes it's just crap. All right. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, everybody. This has been Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief Podcast. I've been your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. This is episode 928. I hope you absolutely had a great stream. We're 1 week away from Black Hat. Giddy up on that. If you're going to be there, reminder, we are doing the Simply Cyber Community Meetup on Friday, August 8th. If you need details to that, let me know and I'll drop them in chat. Otherwise, don't go anywhere because we're going to be doing Jawjacking with Jerry Guy. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Remember, 9:30 a.m. we got Simply Defensive with Wade Wells and Josh Mason. Two amazing individuals. Very, very happy to call them both friends. I hope to see them both next week as well. Until next time, stay secure. Don't go anywhere. We got you. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. what's up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? I saw Christina Paulika, aka the librarian, ask in chat where to sign up. This is it right here. I dropped a link. I'll pin it. First question of Jawjacking. Christina asking about this. It's at Beer Zombies Brewing. It's $5 to register. 100% of proceeds go to Black Girls Hack. $0 go to me. 100% go to Black Girls Hack. Okay? Come on down. Wade Wells missing. You know what? Wade Wells allocated his vacation time for really good stuff this year. So no shade being thrown at Wade Wells. That was a really fast hour. All right, guys, welcome to Jawjacking. I'm your host, Jerry Guy. What we're going to be doing over the next hour, or the next 30 minutes, is I'm going to answer all of your questions to the best of my ability. So drop them in chat. Let me know. T-app leak. Oh, the T-app. Yeah, that's that women sharing. Okay, so I guess there's some social media app for women where they can like basically talk about men. I don't know much about it, but so a data breach exposed photos and ID cards of women who signed up for this app. I mean, okay. I mean, I could see this being good, right? I mean, I don't know. In the world of, I don't even want to get into like dating and the dating scene right now, and expectations and identities and roles and all these other things. All I'll say is, from what I know about this story, which would be this headline, right? Dude, a lot of like financial apps, like Robinhood, etc., Coinbase, they require you to send a picture of your driver's license in as part of the Know Your Customer. So if they were to get breached, it'd be a similar data set. This is just identities, probably a lot of PII that was breached as well. Okay, so it's Levincia says the purpose of the app is to disclose men that are unsafe so women can protect themselves kind of en masse. I could totally appreciate that. That's a good cause here. So how did the breach happen? I guess that's the question. Their legacy, oh my gosh. So it says here their legacy storage system was compromised. Man, I don't know if William Dreyer asked this question because it was going to trigger me or not. But dude, if you have data, legacy storage system, to me that reads deprecated system, poor system life cycle best practices. Dude, when something becomes legacy, you need to take it offline. End of life, sunset it, archive the data off. People get so lazy because it's easy to just leave the data, right? Oh, just in case we need it, right? 72,000 image, 13,000 selfies. I mean, I don't know. I suppose the only thing I could see being scary here, and I don't have the information, is if you could associate comments with individuals, right? So let's just say that you know, Sarah Tall, whatever, right? Like just picking a name here. User on T-App said some really critical things about Joe Smith. And now the data leak allows Joe Smith to see what those comments were, as well as Sarah's driver's license with photo and address and stuff like that. If the actual content of what was shared is coupled with the identity of the individual, that could be really, really concerning, obviously, because now you could get revenge motivated, emotional motivated cyber attacks or physical attacks, etc. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not listen, I'm not going to get all up in this. I mean, there's clearly a lot. I mean, if you look at the statistical percentages of women that stalk and scare, or whatever you want to call it, men versus the number of men who stalk and scare and attack women, I think we can all agree that there are examples in both camps, but like men being a danger to women is more statistically likely, right? So I can understand the need behind this. But like any platform, it can be abused, right? People, I'm sure they're not fact checking, right? So say, say like we had a falling, like I don't know, like say a couple gets divorced or whatever, and the female, like it's a male female marriage, and the female really feels jaded, so the female goes and spews a lot of untruths on this app about the male, right? There's those situations could occur, but whatever. I'm not gonna. It sucks. I hope these people are protected, and it's unfortunate that. Here's my thing: if you're collecting driver's licenses to validate the identity, why do you need to save that? Why can't you delete that afterwards? You don't need to keep it. This is why, listen, guys, the final thing I'm going to say about this, people don't, I'll just call it what it is, plainly. People don't respect data governance because it seems like this big, vague, subjective thing that doesn't really matter. Because if you say, oh, like, we're not going to implement data governance, F you, Jerry, okay? Nothing happens bad immediately, okay? If you say, oh, I'm not going to follow the speed limit and you're doing 200 miles an hour, you feel you're in danger and like you're probably going to die, right? With data governance, oh, we're not going to do it. Then nothing bad happens immediately. But when you have crap for data governance, when you don't have someone driving the data governance train, what you end up happening is having this massive trove of data for what I would consider no good reason. Why do they need the driver's license photos after the identification? All right, let's keep going. Hi, I'm Jerry. I love talking about things. Guys, I love cybersecurity. Someone asked me recently, I can't remember. Someone asked me recently. I can't remember. What a crappy story. Someone asked me something I can't remember. Great story, guy. All right, so let's go. If you got questions, put them in chat. I'm going to be looking for the queue up front. I see Brian O saying, would you advise if I'm currently not in cybersecurity, could I use my current nonprofit job to conduct a risk analysis and compliance audit? Yeah. Hold on. Let me, hold on. I'm want to bring this up on stream, Brian O. Brian O, the answer is absolutely 100%. Not only should you do that, but this is a great idea for anyone, right? If you can, like you said, I'm not in cybersecurity. If you do a risk analysis and compliance audit on your current business, guess what? You're in cybersecurity. You're literally doing a cybersecurity activity for a business that has real value. I would absolutely do it, and then I would add it to your resume as something that you did at that business. In fact, Brian, I would go even further, and whatever your findings are, offer up some suggestions. Maybe some ones that cost $0, right? Maybe all you need to do is configure some things, right? Turn some stuff on, turn some stuff off. Maybe, Brian, maybe you'll find that your nonprofit company is hoarding data like people's driver's license photos that they don't need. Maybe you advise them against that as not to do that. Maybe, Brian, your company is running end-of-life LG webcams, and you can advise them that either they need to be taken offline or replaced. because you're introducing risk, right? Just a couple quick examples of using today's news stories to leverage that. Okay, continuing to look at chat. You can see my light is like directly in my face. It's like giving me a headache. Carrie wants to know how the weather is. Weather's gorgeous, Carrie. Marcelo says, how did you acquire sponsors when you first started? Thought about hosting a local hackathon within a collegiate circles. Yeah, so Marcelo, I mean, I did this show for like a year before I got sponsors. So, probably not the best way to do it. The answer is I grinded until I built something that people wanted to sponsor. If you wanted to host a local hackathon within collegiate circles, what I would advise is set it all up, get the, marketing established and everything. And then since it's local, you might be able to go to local businesses to get local sponsors. Or you could, you could outbound. So a lot of businesses will have like, not all of them, but like you can contact their marketing department or, opportunities at X, Y, and Z. And you can just tell them about your business and what you're doing. A lot of times it's more relationship, Marcelo. So, maybe you, like for your local hackathon, maybe you contact Try Hack Me and tell them what you're doing and ask them if they would like to volunteer some Try Hack Me vouchers for prizes. Okay, sometimes it's not about money. Sometimes it's about prizes and stuff like that, which is more valuable to Try Hack Me because it's not really a line item expense. So there's that. But as far as like sponsors and being able to call people, that takes time. I will tell you, no one's asking about this, but I'll tell you. Hold on. Let me just start something, and then if you guys want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. I have noticed a contraction in marketing spend for cyber businesses in the last 3 months, and I have some qualified data to support that. If you guys want to hear about that, otherwise, I am here to answer your questions, not just spit at you. Elliot Matisse says, since you asked, what are your thoughts on the CISA nominee talking about killing the cyber China supply chain? Oh, thank you, Elliot. So here, we had a story earlier about this guy, Sean Plank. He's probably going to be the CISA guy. And he said his top priority is going to be getting the United States, like cutting out China's supply chain. Okay. Dude, here's my reality. China produces tons of product at really affordable prices, okay? Maybe at a loss. And if you go look at the TP-Link story, go Google TP-Link China backdoor. Some people are arguing that China's baking in backdoors into their tech, and because it's so cheap, everyone's buying it, and they're slowly building a huge foothold. So it's a national security issue. I'm fine. If you want to cut China off from the supply chain, fine. Like, I'm not a super big fan of it because I actually think China's better, basically, from a R&D, a technology development, pushing innovation. The United States used to be huge at innovation. Like in the 50s and 60s, we put a man on the moon. Bring us our flag back, okay? If you want to impress us, bring us our flag back. But in the last like 25 years, I mean, the U.S. is still pushing things, but China's innovations like unbelievable. Look at Chinese cars, dude. The cars being developed in China are insane. So by cutting two things. One, by cutting off China's supply chain, you're actually eliminating like a lot of like innovative products from reaching the United States. So now like our options are to buy products that are like less innovative, less effective. Second of all, and it's tied to money.
Straight cash, homie.
Here's where I think the big problem is. Guys, let's be real right now. Inflation is going up. Jobs are going down. This is anecdotal math. Somehow the S&P 500 is crushing it. That's still something I'm still wrapping my head around, how the business in the United States is killing it, but people are not. If you kill the Chinese supply chain, the cost of goods are going to go up. You won't have as competitive a market, right? So you'll be forced to buy more expensive product, which is already going up. And people are already trying to make $1 stretch, right? Like Tupac said, we're trying to make $1 out of 15 cents right now. And you're going to like increase the price of things. Have you seen the price of meat? Like beef? Beef is out of control. Like the tariffs on Brazil are going to be 50%. Starting August 1st, I would strongly encourage, if you can, go out in the next 3 days and buy as much coffee as you can, because coffee is going to go up. All right. Computer Cyber KW says, could you tell me when schedule release? You'll have to be more specific which schedule you're talking about. I guess I'll assume you're talking about this one. So just so everyone knows, this is the schedule for the streams. This gets released every Sunday. Kimberly Can Fix It produces this. Thank you, Kimberly Can Fix It. And you can see here, we just did the daily cyber threat brief. We're in the middle of Jawjacking, and then the Simply Defensive podcast will be at 9:30. Go to the Discord server, Computer Cyber KW, and you'll see the stream schedule. All right, continuing to look at chat. All right. I want to hear about contraction of marketing spend in cyber. Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to Black Hat next week. One of the things I do, besides all the things I do at Black Hat, is I offer services where I'll go to like your booth or whatever, right? And I'll like take a look at your booth and I'll do interviews with your staff and I'll produce the video and then I'll publish it on Simply Cyber's YouTube channel, right? Now, what we're doing here is awesome, and we do this every single day, and it's my commitment to deliver value to you guys. But also, the Simply Cyber YouTube channel has 260,000 subscribers, right? So if I go to a business and I say, hey, I'll interview your staff, make a short, and I'll publish it on a 260,000 cyber themed YouTube channel, they're willing to pay for that, okay? And that money helps fund all the initiatives that we do, plus like my lifestyle, right? Like this is my job. I put together a pretty great service offering. I threw it out to like 30 different businesses. I followed up with those businesses. I had conversations with 3 businesses, and I sold work for 2 businesses. Based on that alone, last year there was much more interest and a lot more spend. Based on what between that and a couple of other things I'm seeing, but mostly that, I can tell you definitively there's less spend in the market. Now, I have to imagine that there's scared money. There is a lot of money in, there's a lot of cybersecurity business in Israel. Israel's in a war right now, so that's definitely more of a focus, I would imagine. Inflation's high, tariffs are out of control. Like there's a lot going on in the United States also with business. So I think that right now investors are concerned about basically not scared money, but like they're very apprehensive of just throwing money at marketing right now. And spend, which is why I think that there's been a reduction in hiring as well in cybersecurity. So all of that, it's not good news, but it is anecdotal observations. And dude, here's the thing. This is like a life lesson, like a business life lesson, right? I can say, hey, I'm going to be doing this thing Does it sound interesting? Right? And you could have 100, you could tell 100 people you're going to be doing something awesome. And they're like, 95 of them are like, yes, definitely want to do something awesome with you. And you're like, all right. It's when you say, are you willing to sign up? Are you willing to pay for it or whatever, right? Are you willing to commit to it? It doesn't even have to be money. It could be time. That's when people are like, oh, actually, I think the idea is cool, but I'm not ready for it. So, like, usually it's money related, but that's where you get to see like what the actual reality is of a situation. So I'm just telling you right now, I hope it doesn't impact anyone else. All right, I'm continuing to look at chat. We are 5 minutes away from Simply Defensive with Josh Mason and Wade Wells. Hey G, is there a checklist that exists so someone can actually perform a cybersecurity audit? No, I mean, you'd have to make one, right? But go to Jenna Powers, go to CIS, Charlie India Sierra, CIS 18, and look for that. Cyber Risk Witch, both. So Mrs. Auger and I were in Massachusetts. I told her when we started dating that I wanted to live in the South. I don't like snow. And it's a quick story. So we wanted to live on the East Coast. I wanted to live where there was no snow, so we just got a map out, Cyber Risk Witch, and started in North Carolina and just ran our finger down the coast. And every major city, I spent like a week trying to find work, and Charleston was the first city that I found a job in. I found a job in like a week, and I moved down here. And we moved down here. We never been to Charleston. We never knew anyone who was here. We just up and moved. We figured we could always move back. Hey, really quickly, if you didn't know, in the mornings at 9:30, every morning, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is at 8 a.m., but at 7:30 a.m., there is a Discord meetup in the water cooler. So if you're like waiting for the show, or you're looking to just socialize with some Simply Cyber community members, hop on the Discord server. You'll see it in one of the stages called the water cooler. Legrat saying add 35% to Canadian beef on August 1st. I'm telling you guys, if you're going to see it, listen, when you're doing your Labor Day, is it Memorial Day or Labor Day? I think it's Labor Day. When you're doing your Labor Day cookouts at the end of the summer, you're going to be disgusted when you see the price of burgers. Silence Poet, I'm having fun playing games with N8N. Oh, hey, that's cool, Silence Poet. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, if you could automate, like, updating rules or detections, if you could put something around developing awareness training that's automated based on just-in-time news, cyber news, that would be good. Alex says, what do you think of Luma, InfoStealer, and their inevitable return? Yeah, 100%. They are coming, and I'm not surprised, dude. If you go look at these, like, major threat actors, Emotet wasn't a ransomware, but Emotet is a really great initial payload, if you will. That research was effective. Luma's excellent. I say that academically. I don't like Luma because it's malware, but like, yeah, all I could say is get your detections in place and get ready. Hey, G, is there a checklist? No, I already answered that. Why is Simply Social Engineering at 1 instead of 9:30 like the other shows? Marcus Kyler, there are no other 9:30 a.m. slots. Simply Defensive is Monday. Philip Wiley, Simply Offensive is Tuesday. Two Cyber Chicks and Simply ICS is Wednesday. Cybersecurity Career Mentors is Thursday. Simply Secured is Friday. We don't have any more slots. We've had to start doing the 1 p.m. slots. All right, we got 1 minute until we're dropping this. Here we go. All right, hey guys, we are right there at time. We're going to be going over to Simply Defensive Season 4, Episode 2. Wade Wells, Josh Mason. Love it, love it, love it. I hope you guys had a great show. Holy crap, hold on. Sarah's really quickly. We're going to go until this turns over. Any quick tips or advice you recommend before security analyst intern interview at Arctic Wolf? Yeah, so Arctic Wolf is a really known MDR provider. They probably have a lot of great onboarding documents and stuff like that as far as like your process and whatever. I would just say, Sarah, if you can, try to learn at least one recent story of some material substance in and out, and be able to kind of like reference it, because they're probably going to ask you about like email phishing and thoughts around risk and stuff like that. So just kind of get familiar with the news, and yeah. Also, you might want to kind of just revisit like network stacks and how computers talk to each other. That's another like common thing. All right, guys, we are starting it up. Good luck, Sarah. Let us know. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, your chat. Don't go anywhere, people. Well, do go somewhere. Go raid this URL right here. Thank you all so very much. I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, stay secure.